Hi Flosstube, it's Lori from Mischievous Stitches. It is Saturday the 25th of February and I thought I would check in today to show you a little bit of the haul that I picked up last weekend as well as my progress on the tapestry sampler. Here's my tapestry sampler as of today. In the last video, since the last video, I have finished the end, these two flowers, as well as put the final stitches into this flower. So as you can see, I still have just a very small area to complete, but I have unfortunately lost my focus on this piece. I'm really itching to start something new, and after showing you my basket of whips in my last video, you can understand why I'm trying to resist the temptation to do so. After last weekend, these are my temptresses. I saw in the past few months that Abby here on Facebook, Flosstube, had finished this piece here. And as soon as I saw it, I had to jump on 123 and order it. So this past weekend, I visited the Stitch and Frame shop in Rock Hill, South Carolina with my friend Javon. And while I was there, I picked up these supplies to finish this up. This is not the called for fabric, but this is the fabric that I chose, but it is the called for threads. And this is 36 count Confederate gray. And once again, this is the pattern. So it calls for 32 count sparrow fabric from Birds of a Feather. And as far as I know, unless you get it on eBay, I do not believe you can get that fabric anymore. I also picked up and kitted this pattern. It is the Prayer of St. Francis by Lizzie Kate. I bought a piece of 32 count flax to finish that up, and these are not all the called for threads. When I pull the called for threads, the pinks, the primary colors in the pinks were just way too bright for me, so I toned them down a good bit. And even now I'm not totally satisfied, so I may tweak it a little bit more. But I am excited about having this piece, and hopefully within the next year I'll have started it, completed it, and had it framed and on my office wall. I also picked up the fabric for these samplers. 52 card pickup. I showed these in my first video. These are the Fragments in Time pieces from Summer House Stitchworks. And at the suggestion of a couple of you here on Flosstube, I did contact Beth, the designer, and there is a freebie border pattern if you decide to stitch these pieces together. So I did email her. She answered me back relatively quickly. I do have that border pattern, and last week I had a trip and I started the piece after buying the fabric, which is Country French Mocha 32 count, as well as the threads. Now these, let me turn it around so you can see the threads on the piece. These are not all the called for threads. This is some of the called for, some that I chose to do it on. To use, but this is what I finished up the first piece last weekend, along with a start on the border. And I can tell you, I'm not crazy about the orange or the red for that matter, so I do believe that I'm going to tweak this one a little more. I did get a size fabric that I do have the ability just to start the pattern in one of the other corners opposite of this, and so that I do not have to rip this out. But I'm not happy with the colors, but I am happy with the pattern itself. So it is still something I would love to stitch, but I just want to tweak it and make it my own. I also have been looking for a pattern, seeing everyone stitch Nightmare. I did pick up a piece that I showed you on the other videos that was a monochrome piece, Faith, Hope, and Love, I believe it was, by Work Basket. But this is the pattern that I was actually looking for and finally found, ordered, and got in last week. This is the Pelican by Courtney collection. I have seen this one completed. A friend of mine, Teresa, has completed it, has it framed it on her walls, and this is a big honking piece. I mean, it is enormous, but just gorgeous. So, I don't know if you can see behind me, my wall colors are used light browns and yellows here in my home, and this will look perfect on my wall here in my living room. This was actually, I had found it on ABC Stitch like 2 days before I actually decided I wanted to go ahead and buy it. And when I went back, it was gone. Right then, that quick, just 2 days. So I went on the search, and it took me about a week, I believe, to find it. And it lucked out that, as you can see, it was in a clearance basket. So this is originally $22. I got it for $11. And I got it from the Stitcher's Garden, which is a brick and mortar shop, but they have an online shop as well. And I got it really quickly. I believe it was here within 3 or 4 days. The only drawback is I did not, other than the original confirmation that my order had been placed, I did not get anything saying they received the request or that they had mailed the request out. It was on the way. But just so you know, for future reference, they do read their emails. They do get it out to you relatively quickly, so I wouldn't hesitate to order from them again. But while I was in the clearance bin for that shop, I also picked this up, which is Celtic Birds, Celtic, however you say it, by the Sunflower Seed. You hear that rustling? That's my teenage son. He's going to a military ball tonight, and he's getting dressed. Say hello, Jacob. But this is the Sunflower Seed, and I plan to do this. It's called for Onyx, which I believe is a Wheat Stye Works. Yes, Wheat Stye Works. I'm going to change the color to either a very dark green or possibly a very dark teal. On top of that, I have one finish. I call this my lunchtime small. As I've told you in other videos, that I have a small piece that I keep with me at work. So it doesn't change. I don't start anything new for my lunch piece until the previous one is finished. And this was actually my February finish. It is Bent Creek's Romance. Isn't that nice? I have been inspired by Sylvia from Becky's Land, and she finishes completely everything that she starts, and I think that is a great idea. It is a goal now of mine to do the same thing. So hopefully on the next video, or maybe within the next 2 to 3 videos, you will see a complete finish of this piece. But just so you can see it one more time. I like Ziggy. Does anyone else remember Ziggy? Anyway, I hope everyone has a really great stitchy weekend. Enjoy yourself. Get plenty of X's crossed. And until next time, hugs and stitches. Bye-bye.